And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I have to say, when I first played Ascension, I never imagined that I would be reviewing Ascension X, the 10th expansion for this game. I still remember the first time we played Ascension, I said, oh, this is an interesting game. The artwork's awful, but the game is okay. Now I'm playing it saying, wow, the artwork is really good, and I'm really enjoying Ascension. This one here is called War of the Shadows. Each Ascension set adds a new mechanism, which doesn't often carry on to further sets, although you'll notice a few things in this set that have come from previous set, but this one adds night and daytime and also multi-cost cards. Now this set, I think more than any other, benefits from playing it by itself, and we're about to take a look at this set. I'm not actually talking about how to play Ascension. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you already know. If not, go watch my original Ascension video. We're just going to be talking about what this set adds to the game. Let's do it. So we have new cards, the same cards basically, but with new artwork. We have the Cultist, the Mystic, the Heavy Infantry, the Militia, and the Apprentice. And all this is on a board. The boards for Ascension just keep getting nicer and nicer. Now you'll notice this board looks a little different. That's because in this deck, every card is either a light card or a dark card. They're very easy to tell apart with the borders, and in the corner you can see the light or darkness here. And this is because when you're filling up the row, if it's a dark card, you slide it to the top. If it's a light card, you slide it to the bottom. So as I fill these up here, you'll see that there's 4 cards to the top and 2 cards to the bottom. That means it is night. And if there were more cards toward the bottom, it's day. And if the cards are tied, it is neither. And this will matter for a little bit later in the game. But let's take a look at some of the cards in these decks. So we have some typical monsters here. The Cavern Creeper, which gives you a point. And some money here, the Shardwing Beetle, which gives you 3 points, and then you can pay to get an extra 3. I do like that one. We have trophy monsters. If you've only ever played the basic game, trophy monsters you can keep and then use them later on for their trophy. So this one you can banish this card to banish a card in the center row. We have some very basic creatures here. So they kind of like, this isn't just all new stuff. There is some very basic stuff. I like these work together. So again, if you're going to mix this with other sets, that's going to probably dilute this. But if you're using just this set, the chance of you getting the Sure Shot Tracker and the Flare Tracker together is cool. And also, I really like the artwork for them. The Shrine Attendant I like because when you play them, you get a free Mystic or Heavy Infantry unit. That's pretty good for only 2. Then we got this one here where you can banish a card in the middle. Then you can acquire a card with cost 3 or less without paying its cost. So that's kind of an interesting one. It's always good, I think, to have these cards that let you banish things. This has Unite. Again, if you only had the basic set, Unite allows you to do this if you played another Lifebound hero. So you can get 3, but if you play another Lifebound, you can get 6 on that one. Here we have a Riftwatch Outpost. I really kind of like the artwork on these cards here. This one's interesting. You draw a card, and if you played or have played Mystic or Heavy Infantry, you draw an additional card. That's a kind of a useful thing because the chance of that happening, especially as the game goes by, is pretty high. Map of the Stars is a great card. It gives you 1 of each attack power and money over the course of a game. The Deadeye Assassin gives you 3, plus an extra 1 for each void card in your discard pile. But what we want to talk about is the new mechanisms for this game. And that is, if a card, if it is night or if it is day, things are going to change. So you can see here, when you kill this monster here, you get 4 points. However, if it's night, you will also draw 2 cards. So you'll consider, hey, maybe I don't want to kill this guy during the day. The Shade Viper, when you kill him, you get 2 points, and you keep it as a trophy. And then later on, you can banish it during the day to get money, or banish it at night to get fighting power. This monster here, if it's daytime, when you beat him, you get 3 money. This monster here, if it's day, you take a card at random from each opponent's hand. If it's night, you take 5 points from an opponent of your choice. So in this one, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty cool. It's probably better to kill it at night, but during the day it's good too. This one here, you can destroy 1 construct during the day, but you can destroy all but 1 of their constructs at night. This Legion here has an ongoing trophy, which gives you a special ability. Essentially, whenever you beat a night card, you get 2 points. And if all the cards in the middle row are night cards, you can defeat it for free, which is hard to happen, but can happen. I don't know if I've seen that. This guy I really enjoy. He's 6 to defeat him. During the day, he's 5 less to defeat. Very easy to defeat during the day. But at night, if you beat him, where he costs 10, you also defeat all other monsters in the same row without having to pay their costs. This guy at night lets you banish a card from your hand or discard pile. This guy, during the day, normally lets you defeat a monster that costs 4 or less. And during the day, though, he can defeat any monster, which is a really cool thing. The Rescue Bot, when you buy it, if it's daytime, you can put it right into play. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Again, has to be day. This Shade of Sidranus here, at night, you can defeat a non-trophy monster in the void as though it was in the center row. So at night, you can beat a monster that's already been beaten before. This guy at night can switch your abilities. You can spend money as fighting power and fighting power as money. This guy, during the day, if all the cards in the middle row are light cards, you can get him for free. Which, again, may or may not happen, but his power is pretty cool, where you can basically take a card in the middle row without paying its cost, and during the day, you can then just add that to your hand. This guy here, if you have 3 or more mechanic constructs, you can treat your turn as day. So this one can get you this one for free. This is a really interesting idea, and I like the idea that you can change something to day. It's really cool theme-wise. This one's super expensive. It's 12, but you can spend both money or fighting power to get this. Speaking of spending money and fighting power, there are new cards in the deck now where you can see that they have dual costs. So when you have these, you have to pay both costs to get them. Now that seems like it might be complicated, but it's really not that hard to have some fighting and some money. And you also notice these have daytime abilities, and these are cool cards too. Like this one here is gain 2, but during the day it's an extra 2. And so this one you draw a card, during the day draw an extra card. They're basically normal cards, gain 2, and at night gain a 2 fighting. But as the prices go up, the things that the cards do are better. Like this guy here, Reclamax, which I like his name anyway, once per turn if you play a mechanic construct, including this one, or if it is day, draw a card. This guy here, banish a card in your hand if you do, add a mystic and a heavy infantry to your hand. Really enjoy that here. Here you can banish a card, and if it's night, you can banish another card. The Pillars of Resolve, if you play a mystic or heavy infantry, draw 2 cards. If you notice, there are several cards in this set that kind of concentrate on you getting those mystics and heavy infantry. This guy, I really enjoy him. He's a 1/1, draw a card, and then if you use the Unite ability, you get to do that over again. He has a 3/3 cost, which doesn't happen all the time, although later in the game, many times it happens. And then we got the 2 big ones. This one's a 6/1. He gives you 3 attack, and the next time you beat a monster in a row, you get money equal to its cost, which is neat. And this guy, during the day, you get 1 and 1 for each mechanic construct you control. If you notice, if it's not day, he's worthless. So this guy's only powerful during the day. Of course, he also has 6 points, too. So those are the different kinds of cards that are in this set. Okay, so where does this set fall down in my favorites? It's not my favorite. Probably the last one with the Dreams was my favorite so far, but this one is a really solid set and very enjoyable. As I said at the beginning, this one really benefits from, I think, playing by itself more than any other set. Now, you can mix it with other sets, and honestly, you can still night and day. Basically, if there's one light card out there, it's day. If there's one night card out there, it's night, if they're very diluted. But I think at the most I might mix it with one other set. There'll be fewer night and day cards out there, but I think it would still work, as I've only actually played it by itself because we want to see all the different cards, so we're playing it multiple times by itself. But mixing it with one other set I think would be worth trying out. The multi-cost cards are very intriguing. They're not as, you're like, wow, it costs 2. But most times when I play this game, I'm usually sitting there with 6 money and 3 attack or something like that anyway. So it's not like the multi-cost cards are difficult. The only thing that they might add is a little bit of bookkeeping, because you're saying, okay, I got 6 attack and 5 money. Usually when I play these games, like I got 5 money and I spend all my money. All right, now I have attack and I spend all my attack. Here, or the opposite. Here you have to say, okay, I spent 3 attack and 2 money to get that card, so that leaves me with 2 attack. So because attack is, I don't know, because they're virtual currencies, so that might take the turns a little bit longer, but it's not that big of a deal. They're not that powerful. They're kind of like normal cards. I think it's a cool idea. I think the multi-cost cards would be benefited by diluting for them to show up once in a while. If you play just this set, they show up all the time. So the night versus day thing I like how the cards get better. It's a very easy mechanism as you slide them up and down as they come in a row. It's simple to tell which ones are light and dark. It's easy to tell if it's day or night. You might buy a card halfway through your turn that just to switch the balance, I'll buy this card. Now it's going to be, and you flip over a card, yes, now it's daytime, so now I'll play this card and get the special ability. And so all that comes together into a very solid mechanism. If you've never played Ascension before, well, first of all, you probably shouldn't be watching this, but this is a great set to start with. I think it would be easy to jump into. If you only have a few expansions, this one is a great one to add to your set. They're not doing super weird stuff with this set. It's basic. It adds day and night, but that works. And so this is a great 10th expansion for the set, War of the Shadow. Certainly check it out. So glad the artwork's getting better. Dice Tower Judgment into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!